My amazing guest today is Gerson Veundja Kamatuka. He is an experienced human resources manager, skilled in HR consulting, leadership, and employee relations. Gerson recently did a TEDx talk at TEDx Soccerpunt, where he spoke about the need for a coach at your side. Gerson is also a Gallup Strengths trained coach and an organizations and relationship systems coach trained by CRR Global. This week, he concluded his term as the Vice Chairman of the Retirement Funds Institute of Namibia and is currently the Chairman of the Namibian Broadcasting Corporation's Retirement Fund. Gerson does international facilitation and Gallup strength coaching for CEOs and business owners. Gerson, thank you so much for joining me on Imagineering, and I want to talk today about coaching.
Hello, Brandt. Hello, listeners. Thank you. It's great to be here.
So your TEDx talk outlined why everybody needs a coach, right? And you use some examples. Why do you think everybody needs a coach at your side?
Yeah, I really believe that through all the challenges that we go through life, you really need someone by your side just to guide you, to take your hand and just to gently push you forward. You know, sometimes when you're sitting in a situation, you can't see the bigger picture yourself. So someone can come in and just give me a different perspective of how to see things. So that's why I really believe that people need coaches, and I believe that everyone needs a coach. Yeah, I've seen that most successful people in life, business executives, CEOs, and sports people, and even presidents, political leaders, they have used coaches in their lives in different times of their lives, in different areas of their lives. So that's why I feel that it is really important for each and every person to get a coach for any area in your life.
Now you outlined some types of coaches, right? And you explained like creative coaching, which is something that I do. I train people on how to be more creative. But you also outlined some other coaches. What sort of coaches do you think are needed, especially now in today's busy modern world?
Yeah. So when you did my profile, you mentioned about strength coaching. So I really believe it's very good for us for you to identify what are your core strengths. And we need to capitalize on those strengths that you have as a person and build on them, make them stronger. So now the strength coach is the person that comes in to help you just to focus on what is your strong point so that you can really become the best person because you are focusing on your good things, your strong points here. So that's one of the type of coaching that I do that I also believe that it personally helped me as a person. My top strength is learner. So I am a learner, and that was so true when I did the test that I am a learner. So I like the process of learning, of accumulating information and also giving out information to other people. So teaching and speaking at conferences, just giving out information after I've accumulated and came up with something, a document, a research document or so. So but through that, I realized that this is so true. This is me, and I love it. I love this, and I excel when I do this. So really, I believe that strength coaching is one of the best type of coaching processes that we need in life. So apart from strength coaching, I also do organization relationship systems coaching, or what we call ORSC. I've been trained by CRR Global.
Now, what's CRR? What does that mean?
Oh my Lord. You have to cut there.
I'll cut this.
You're not the first person to ask me that question. I always have to go to my manuals. What does CRR stand for?
Let's look it up.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
let's look it up.
Yeah. Oh, I also have a
CRR Global. Okay. I'm on the website. It doesn't even say on the website.
It doesn't say on their website.
About. What? It doesn't say anywhere. Or coaching,
it doesn't say anywhere. It's coaching. I always forget. I have it.
Relationships, something global. Let's ask Google. What
Oh yeah, you
is
can ask Google.
CRR global mean? Let's go to LinkedIn. Maybe it says on the LinkedIn. I don't know.
You don't know, ne?
No, it doesn't say. It says CRR global, but never does it say anything about what that actually means.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeesh, that's a bit disheartening. Because a lot of people are going to ask, what does CRR mean? Because people assume it means something.
Yeah, yeah. So then maybe we have to cut the whole CRR thing out.
Yeah.
But it's like Gallup. It's an international organization like Gallup, but it means something. It stands for.
I thought Gallop means like to run or to sprint. It's like Gallop.
Yeah. I'm calling me. She's not picking up.
CRR Global. No. Let's check about on the LinkedIn. It talks about the organization and relationship systems coaching methodology. Relationship systems intelligence. No, it doesn't say anywhere what it actually means. Considering this is their website and LinkedIn page, it seemed it would be evident. I thought for a moment it was connect, inspire, empower, but that doesn't make sense. CRR Global. Nope, doesn't say.
Okay, let's leave it for now.
Let's just leave it for now.
So we just talk about the OSC itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so where were we?
So we finished where I needed to move to the next step of coaching.
All right, so you've talked now about some of the styles of coaching, right? And there are obviously a great variety of different styles of coaching. But you specifically do organizations and relationships coaching, style coaching. What does that mean?
So this is now coaching that we do for teams, right? So you bring in teams and you help them become one team so that they can work together towards a certain goal. We, especially I have in my personal life, I have seen that we go for weekend breakaways, and then there is the strategy session, and then we're going to have the team building exercise. I just feel that the team building exercises, they are very good, we need them, but we need to add a flavor to it that can help to make the team stronger by focusing on what they are doing, what their role is as a team, and what they need to achieve. So when we do now the organization, the relationship systems, so we work on the relationships of the system, and the system is now the team, whether it's the organization, the whole organization, or a certain department. So the team, how the team can work together and overcome whatever they are facing as a team. So we hereby we coach the team, not the team members.
You've touched on something there that I've been thinking about.
Yeah.
Everybody goes away and they do their corporate team training thing, team activities and all kinds of things. But here's the problem, right? When you go back, there's no follow-up. And I think that's a disastrous sort of a thing, because now you've had basically some fun time, but you haven't been able to take that and apply it. Now,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know it's all about self-leadership and you need to, take control of your own life. And absolutely, I agree with that. But unless you've trained someone to keep it going, right, at least one or two specific people is going to fall apart.
yeah. It's so true what you're saying, because when we come back from the team building exercises, then then reality hits us when you enter the office the Monday morning. So you forget about these nice things that you did together as a team. So reality hits you. You want to focus on your goals, on your performance as a person, and you know you just forget. And sometimes the people come back worse than before they went to team building exercises. Then you wonder what happened this weekend. We invested so much and you were so much together as a team over the weekend, but now people are just back to normal. So that's why we need this kind of coaches that can still continue what people have done at the team building exercise over the weekend. Someone who can bring that and follow it up after a month or so that it can be a continuous process. Then it can be done at the organization just for a few hours in the morning after 2 months or so, just to follow up on where we are as a team, where are we going as a team, and how are we doing, what are the challenges that came up after the team building exercises, or what can we remove, what can we add in our strategy, and so on. So from my side, so I built that continuous support into the whole program.
That makes sense. And I think that's the better way to do it. I know there's a lot of team building activities and all kinds of things that's around, and companies that do team development training and so forth. But what I think is important is consistency and continuation of what was discussed. Like you said now, exactly, you go on a team activity, then you come back and it's Monday again, and Frank still puts his fish in a microwave, which stinks up the entire personnel room, and Johnny still decides to um, drink the special coffee that was supposed to be
Yeah.
for your special coffee or whatever, uh, because it's Monday and we had some fun, but it's not a behavioral change, and you can't
Yeah.
just
And
change
this is
behavior by
reality.
one event.
Yes. And this is reality. When people come back Monday morning, reality hit them. Real life things happen in the office on a Monday morning. So the weekend was nice to have nice fun together to build a team. But now reality is coming. You have deadlines to meet. You have clients that are difficult. You have personal issues at home that also maybe are contributing to your performance at work. So when you come to work Monday morning, then reality really faces you. So really, that's why we need a person who can continue to keep the momentum on what you have built over the weekend here during the exercises, team building activities.
Yeah. So I'm all for team building activities. I do it myself. But I do not believe in a one day or even a 3-day event, and then you go back and you send them on the way, and then they're supposed to have behavioral change. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad to see that there is a plan in place, or at least organizations that have realized that there's an important need to have follow-up and a continuation and success strategy in place. Otherwise, things are just going to fall apart.
Yeah. And what I have seen in some organizations, when they do team building activities, then you go and play football together, or play netball, or play some games together, which is nice, which is good, but that's really, to me, that needs something extra. That's not the real cracks that we need. Apart from that, we can also have a team building exercise that is based on a tested program. Then we can use the relationship systems coaching, whereby the team is in a relaxed environment, but still they make time to maybe come up with the issues that they are facing and how they can address those issues during that in that relaxed environment.
Right.
So I really
So
feel that is
yeah,
very important.
I agree, because it's, you go and you say, let's play football, right? And here's the ball, and you kick it, and you try and score a goal, right? But then it's your team, it's blue team versus red team, right? but no one explains to you why the team and the cohesion of the team, and why there needs to be a captain of the team and a support structure in place, and why it's there, and why you need to be able to not just know what you're doing, but everybody else is doing as well, to be aware of the environment. And I think we need to explain and train to take that back into the corporate culture.
Yeah. And also during those type of activities, we don't get to the real issues of why the team is not performing maximally at the office. But here now at the football field, the teams are doing very well. 2 teams, blue team and red team, they are doing well as a team. But the real issues that maybe are hindering their performance at the office, we don't get to that. So they just play football and do some activities here and there. And then it was a great team building exercise.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, that's so true. Did you always want to be a coach? I mean, it's like, where did you start, and how did you end up being a coach?
I think I realized that in my own life that I needed people to assist me personally and especially professionally. So I felt that let me get someone just to help me to see things from a different perspective, just to maybe to help unblock some issues that are going through in my life that I'm going through. And maybe just to get a perspective. Sometimes I've seen people who resign from the one organization, go to the next organization, they're still not happy again. But maybe before you resign, maybe speak to someone who can help you see things differently. And that kind of person is a coach who can help you see things differently, so that maybe you don't need to resign. You can just start doing things differently at your work. Yeah. They say the moment you change, then everything else around you change. Yeah. So this is how I ended up with coaching. I went to see a coach, and the person just helped me to unlock, to see things differently in my own life, at my workplace. And I started to understand things differently. And I just became interested in this life of coaching. And then I started to attend courses on coaching. Then I became a coach myself. And then I started helping other people. So people are approaching me from different angles. Just yesterday, I received an SMS, a WhatsApp message from someone who said, I need to help coach him in getting a new job. He's just not getting a new job, and he feels that something is wrong with his CV or with his application form. I said that I told him that might be the reason, that might not be the reason, but let's sit together, let's explore. Let me see what is inside you. What are your values? What do you want? Why are you not happy at your current work? Why do you want to jump ship? Maybe you need to change and become the change at your organization instead of you moving to another organization. So I've booked a consult with him for Monday. Yes.
Yeah. That's brilliant, because a lot of times we don't know what we want, right? And this is going back to the Gallup Strengths Coaching, where a lot of people don't know who they are or what they really want. And so having a coach by your side, as you've explained, to sort of like get you out of your own way, so to speak, right? To sort of cut through, because I've spoken about this a lot of times. It's always easier to see the flaws or the faults in a strategy or a plan from an outside perspective, which is why a facilitator or coach is such a valid and necessary ingredient in any sort of corporate environment or even a small business. And I love the idea that you're sitting down and you say, look, it might be your CV, it might not be your CV, but instead of jumping ship, let's actually ask the question, why aren't you happy now? And what's it going to take to make you happy?
What can make you fulfilled in your work? You might jump ship and go to the next organization and still be not happy again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, it's a necessary discussion to have, and it's an important one to have.
Yeah, you mentioned about Gallup strength coaching earlier. So when I finished my master's degree, I was ready to start my PhD. And everyone else around me was asking me, why are you doing a PhD? Do you need a PhD? And during that time, I was introduced to Gallup Strength Coaching and so on. So I did the Strength Finder, and then my top strength was learner. So it came out as a learner, number one. So it just was a reflection of who I am. I like the process of collecting information and the process of giving out information. So that's why I realized that I will continue with collecting information and giving it out through speaking at conferences or teaching people as a facilitating to my clients on my one-on-ones, and also to the teams when I'm doing teams coaching.
I'm just waiting for this to buffer.
Okay.
Okay. No, but that's cool, man. And I think it's so needed to have someone explain to you why you need a coach. And that's what you went to do at the TEDx. And I think it's such an important discussion to have, especially now, especially in today's life, where we don't know who is rooting for us and who's rooting against us. So actually getting someone who's saying, I am on your side regardless of what happens, right? I have to make sure that you get the desired outcome.
Yes. Let's explore your values. Let's explore what you want in life, and let's build on that together.
And like I mentioned to Paul Terval in another Imagineering episode, it was that if you go and you work for a company, but you don't even know the company's values and you don't even know your own core values, how do you know if you're going to fit together?
And it's so strange. The core values of some or most organizations, you'll find them in the reception area, but people pass by there every day. They just don't read, or if they have read it in the past, they will not tell you what are the core values of the organization. But it's right there. And people need to live the values in everything that they do when they are at work. It needs to be part of life.
It needs to be part of life. It needs to be part of everything you do in that organization, because the organization is a brand, and you in that organization are charged with the responsibility of upholding that brand, right? Because it's how you generate trust, and that's how you gain employment and all kinds of things, right? Because you have to make sure that the puzzle pieces fit together. You can say that, but here's the problem, right? Do corporates know what their values are? Do they actually, because sometimes they just copy and paste the values from somebody else, right? And then it comes and it's like 10 years later, it's like, I don't know really what we do.
You would hear professionalism, and then you ask people, okay,
what does that mean?
Professionalism is a value. What does it say? It's professionalism. Then they want to Google what it means. Then I'm like, no, to you and to your organization.
It's your value. You should know what it means.
What does it mean in the context of your organization?
It's like it doesn't help you Google.
And if people know their organizational values, then they also know their own values as a person, then they can build a link between the two. Then that will help them to have a fulfilled professional environment.
Because if you fit with your environment, right, and you are one, and what you do and what the company does are in agreement and in alignment, then it's going to make for a better workplace, because that's where you want to be.
No, organizational fit is very important. When we do interviews, when we recruit new people, we always look at organizational fit. The person can have the best CV, all the skills in the world, but will this person fit in this organization? Maybe it's a political environment, maybe it's a highly labor union intensive environment. Will this person really survive here? Or will the person just be frustrated? Maybe it's a highly competitive or performance-driven environment. So will this person fit here? If not, then you can come up with a plan from onboarding, how you're going to make this person fit in this organization, or otherwise, don't take the person on.
So as an HR manager and a coach, right? how would you respond, or how would you coach someone to respond to the typical HR manager question, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
So I always tell the person, look at you as a person, the human in you. Where do you want to be? What makes you tick? What makes you happy? Maybe in 5 years, you want to be somewhere close to the sea, or you like to be in nature. And whatever that comes from deep inside you, from your values, from your core, then you can link that to your career or to your profession. So maybe you're an aspiring HR manager. So maybe you can become an HR manager for a wildlife organization.
So let's say I'm the HR manager, and I'm now recruiting Gerson, Veundja, Kamatuka. And Gerson, I ask him the question, where do you see yourself 5 years from now in this company? What's the response to that? It's like, I see myself as having your job. It's like, what do you say?
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say I see myself as someone working in organizational development, or maybe in organizational transformation, because in that area I can impact a lot of people in the organization through the value systems, through coaching, through helping them to become just better people. And I think that will be strong from my side, instead of just being an HR manager who is helping on the services side of HR.
Okay, so let's go through some typical HR
consulting
questions.
Side,
Side. So it's not about the position; it's about the area of focus. So instead of saying, it's like, I'd like to have the CEO's job or something like that, instead put it in a way like, I see myself as a person working in the development area, or maybe in public relations or something like that. It's like, I see myself in that sort of line of work and helping to build this sort of position or environment. So let's say another position. Let's say another question, right? Another tricky one. Okay. When they ask, what do you think is what do you envision your starting salary as? How do you phrase that? What do you coach people to say to that sort of thing? It's like, because you can be either way too low or way too high, right? Yeah. So then they're going to think, because let's say you say, I see myself as earning between, for example, 80,000 to 100,000. You're thinking 100,000, they're thinking 80,000, right? So what's the correct way to respond to that sort of question? Or what's a better way?
So, okay, the better way, that sounds better than the correct way. So I would say the better way is to say that, give me a salary that is commensurate with my skills and my qualifications, and which is in line with the market salaries, with the market remuneration. Then the HR manager will know where to place you, instead of giving a price tag.
Yeah, because I think that disqualifies you sort of like immediately, because that makes it look like you're after the money rather than after the adding value to the company, And look, money is important. We can't deny that, right? But if you're coming to the company and you want a 5-year, 10-year sort of career there, it can't be all about the money.
No, it can't be all about the money. It needs to be about your contribution to the organization, and also how the organization can contribute to you, to your values, to your skills, to you as a person, to your personal fulfillment in this role. So it's really, money is important, but it's not the driving force. So I always say the salary should speak to what the market is paying,
right,
and speak to your skills and your qualifications, because you don't want to throw away what you have built over the years.
So that's a much better way to respond to this sort of question. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this on SoundCloud or Podbean or iTunes, whatever it may be, drop me a comment. What are some of the tricky questions that we can ask Gerson about HR and the sort of questions that we need to try and respond to and find better ways and better solutions? Maybe you need a coach. Maybe we can set you up and Gerson can help you and help you place you where you need to be. Because I think that's really the role of the HR manager, is to help develop and grow the person in the company, and because a better person in the company will grow a better company.
And I think it really has helped me when I became a manager to make them become fulfilled in their workplaces. I also do wellness coaching because I have to assess wellness situations before I can refer people to professionals outside the organization, medical professionals and so on. So it helps me also to assess the situation of where is this person, what does the person really need? Because a person might come to my office and say he needs a psychologist. Then I need to speak to the person first and assess the situation. Do you really need a psychologist, or maybe a therapist?
Yeah, a psychologist or therapist, or maybe just some time off or something, you know? It's like, what is it exactly what you need, right?
Yeah. So the coaching has really helped me to assess situations much better and to dig deeper into a person's life to see what is the real issue.
I love that. And I
I
think that's a wonderful way to sort of end this conversation of finding your strength, right? Understanding where you are. And if you're going for a career or a job like that, get a coach to help you move up in the world and not just on with it. And I think that's so important, because especially now, we need to have someone by our side that's in our corner, because sometimes we ask for advice and we never know if this is good advice or bad advice. Right, but the coach is there to help you. So the advice has to be the best that it can possibly offer you.
Yeah, your well-being at your workplace is really important, because you spend 8 hours a day at your work.
Yeah.
And how fulfilled are you in those 8 hours? How productive are you? Are you just there to do whatever comes to your table because you're getting a salary to pay your bond and your car, or are you contributing?
So it's basically, really you've got 8 hours at work, right? 8 hours of sleep, and then 8 hours of free time, right, in a day. And the problem is that those 8 hours, everything else sort of like slows down. The 8 hours of free time that you have is not really a lot, because, then that's family obligations and all kinds of things. So if you're not happy in your work life, right, everything else is going to suffer as well.
Yeah. So I just want to add, may I add the last type of coaching that I do before we close? Yeah. So I do support groups for men. I believe that a lot has been done or is still being done for the girl child, and also for women empowerment and women emancipation, which is very good. But I personally feel that the man is being left behind. And when guys are having problems, they would rather go to the bar and chat to the other guys and watch rugby or watch football, and they don't address the issues. Then they go back home with issues again. And especially executives and top executives and so on, coming from work whole day from a stressful environment at the office, you go home, your wife and your children are waiting for you. There you come with these problems from the office. You don't want to share this with your family.
Yeah.
You would rather be there for them and have your family time with your family. So that's why I do support groups for men, and also do special kind of coaching for men only. And I've developed a kind of a creativity program, almost creativity life coaching program, but I only do it for men. I also have realized that men are sometimes more comfortable to speak in groups when it's only men in the group, especially these life coaching groups. Yeah, so this is something that I do as well on the side. Yeah, and I've seen great results, and I've seen guys really opening up to other guys in a very supportive environment, just to share everything from the office life to the family life, to share with other guys in a supportive, healthy environment, confidential environment, and just get a perspective also from other guys and just release. Yeah. So this is the other type of coaching.
So I totally agree, because there is a lot being done for women and girls and so forth now, especially now, because people are sort of realizing that you can't just have a society that's one sex or the other sex, right? It has to sort of like fit together. We have to actually work and strive to be better. and that everything we do. But like you said, women are comfortable speaking to other women, men are comfortable speaking to other men, right? And because men are very closed off, most men, or I'm generalizing here, but the men that I know are quite reserved, and we get taught to be strength, and like boys don't cry, sort of thing. And because that's also instinct as well in our nature, is we don't show weakness, we don't, and we are constantly in competition with ourselves and our environment and other men and everything. That's the way, that's the way of men, right?
And it's really painful to see the number of cases of gender-based violence really that are being reported on a monthly basis, and the ones that are not reported. So really, we need to do something. I really feel that men need people to talk to. Sometimes they just need someone to talk to.
Yeah, and I mean gender-based violence on men by women.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
on
think
men
that's
by women. By men on women.
Of course, it's like but I mean now, because we're speaking now on support groups for men, I was just trying to clarify that part. But because that's what makes the news, right? Is violence against women, because women, they speak out. Not everybody, of course, and we can't just generalize everything, but men are in a culture where you don't speak out, because that shows weakness.
Yeah. Don't show your weakness. Don't cry in front of people.
Exactly. And so that's why a support group with men who have the same sort of problem is, something that I've never thought about, but it makes total sense. And I think there's not enough of that sort of thing happening, where we've come to a point where I think, at least, that men are not being valued as much anymore. And I think because we tend to neglect them, right? Because they've always been there, and I say they, we, me, us.
We're supposed to be the leaders, the strong ones.
So alpha. And I'm not saying that's the way it is or that's the way it should be, but we need to say that your feelings matter too. It's like, by all means, be respectful towards other people's feelings. As Brian Moore put it, be respectful of other people's feelings, but don't neglect your own.
Even if you're an alpha male, as society wants us to be, you still have feelings inside. You're still a human being inside. Yeah.
And we're human beings first.
You're a human being first, And you'll be amazed to hear that I've seen men crack down and break down in tears in my support groups. Strong,
because they found someone that understands and they can open up. And because it's a floodgate, right? A man keeps all his emotions up inside, right? And they don't, and then if they let loose, then everything else, it's like, it's like, I'm being very general here now, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of haters for this, but a woman will cry a lot and they'll get over it, right?
Oh yes,
but a man will try and take it for as long as he possibly can, which is why I think, personally, I think a woman will get over something quicker than a man. Because a man holds his emotions too tightly inside, and a woman will let it go. They'll let go, they'll grow, they'll move on, right? But a man, we get stuck because we don't allow ourselves to share or to grow or to sort of like to connect or to show emotion.
So I like the program that I do it over a 3 month period, and then we come together, let's say every Tuesday evening for 3 hours or so, over a 3 month period. And the guys, they are just there doing what you want them to do. They go there, but after the 6th session only, or towards the end, then they really start to open up and to cry. And it's like, now these strong rugby players are just looking for tissues, tissue paper.
But that's what it is. You're human being first, right? And you are allowed to have emotions. You're allowed to have feelings. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So really, I've seen really.
a mains
No, I
master.
wouldn't say I've seen people really break down and achieve great things and break down the barriers that were put on them as children by school teachers, by society, even by their parents. Now, when they break down these barriers, then later they become great people. They unlock their true potential from inside. And it really gives me comfort and makes me really happy to see them after 2 years or after 3 years, how they
And it
have
probably
changed.
also upgrades your levels of empathy and understanding and connection with others, because you've allowed yourself to feel, so you know and understand what it takes.
Yeah. And they become better at relationships as well. Relationships at work, relationships at home. They become better husbands even.
Yeah. So a men's mastermind movement. It's like it's like
Wow.
Yeah. So I like that, and I think that's a great idea, and so I do think maybe you should start doing talks on these sort of things, because that's something that's quite neglected, I think, in today's society. Is, I mean, look, if I go to the mall, I will see 30, 40 stores dedicated to women's clothing, right?
Yes.
You won't see a single man's clothing store. You can go to the general sort of place to buy some clothes, right? But usually it's world is sort of built right now to sort of like cater for women, which is fine, because like maybe that's just their time now, as the men have had their time since the beginning, right? But so maybe start doing talks on these sort of things, because I think that's a valid point that you've touched on now, that I don't think is explored enough. So I think so
that's a promise.
Yeah, so that's a promise, right? Come to Swakop, and we're gonna make an event, men's mastermind movement. It's like very stoic. Yeah, it's like a man. It's like, yes, I see. Yeah. So I think this is brilliant. I love this idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. In fact, I've never thought of that. I'll organize a men's conference.
Yeah, a men's conference. That's exactly what you should do. I don't think I've seen a men's conference in Namibia. I don't even know about South Africa. It's not something that I've researched, though. I can't say it is or isn't. But I do think that you've got all kinds of women's conferences, right? There's not a single conference dedicated to men.
#she and #woman.
All kinds of things. Like, it's like, and that's brilliant. Well done for you, right? But a man needs different things.
We need to #he.
Yeah. So he, him, whatever.
It's like him. #him.
Him. Yeah. And we can build an acronym around him. It's like
so that's the name of the conference, #him.
A human intelligent male, it's like something like that.
Okay. Yes. Human intelligent male.
So I think the him conferences, it's like, or something. But I love this, and I think we should do it.
We're going to have one next year in Windhoek.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Brilliant. Let's do it.
Good. Why not? Yeah.
Why not? Exactly. And that's what I like to see. Why not? Because not a lot of people ask that question. It's like, oh, but what if this and what if this? Like, you don't know anything until you've tried.
Yeah. As you always say, the future is now.
I say that all the time. Yeah, the future is now. Yeah, I do say that all the time. I'm glad someone's paying attention.
So why not? Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Yeah. All right. So brilliant. I think this is a wonderful way to end this conversation. And I'm glad we didn't end it where we did, when we should have, because it's like what sparked out of that conversation was just so brilliant. And I think, are you interested? Leave me a comment in Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube or anything. Are you interested in a men's conference? Would you like to be part of the #him sort of foundation and networking and growing this sort of like idea? What's your take on this?
Yeah.
Maybe it's positive, maybe it's negative, it could be anything. But I'd like to know your thoughts and put it down in the comments or hit up Gerson on LinkedIn and YouTube and all kinds of things. He's also available. And leave a comment, share your ideas. Do you need a coach? Do you need some help sometimes? What other questions can we ask Gerson about as an HR manager? So like tricky questions that HR managers tend to trick us with. Okay. And thank you, Gerson, so much for this interview. I really love this. And thank you for trying to help us move up in life and not just on with it.
It was great being here. Thank you, Brandt. And I look forward to...
I look forward to him. I look forward to that him.
To hashtag him.
Hashtag him. This is Imagineering signing off. See you next time.